Check. 2, check. All cameras, action.
I'm Hilary from Jack 1023 here in London. We're hanging out with Maestro Fresh Wes and Classified, and Chris from Established Media. We're in the Established Media studios here right in downtown London. And so excited to have you guys here. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
You're no strangers to London. You've been here before. And you both have a lot going on this weekend. Tonight, you're playing at London Music Hall.
That's going to be fun because we did it on tour. Remember we did that? Same.
In October.
Yeah.
And you're going to be playing some hockey?
Playing hockey tonight. Yeah.
I guess you're sad he's not going to be at your show.
No, I'll be there. I'll be there still. I'm bouncing around. I'm going to do some hockey, some hip hop, a little bit of everything.
Well, it's like hip hop royalty hanging
Cool,
out
man.
in London right now. It's so
Thanks
amazing.
for having us, man. How many Junos has London ever had?
This is, I think,
This
is our first
one? Well,
Junos. Yeah.
Congratulations, man. It's an honor to be here, having us. You know what I mean? I know Halifax has had a few. Toronto's had a few as well.
Right.
But it's great to be here in London, man. You know,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. It's certainly not your first Junos. You guys have had a few between you, just a few.
But it's the first time here, so we're gonna do it up.
Now, you have a huge anniversary this year, a big anniversary, the 30th of Symphony in Effect that launched your career and really brought hip hop to Canada, I think. What are you doing to celebrate that?
I got a brand new album called The Champagne Campaign, so we celebrating all year long. So, you know, I'm happy to be here, but you know, the album just came out like a week ago, so I'll be doing that. God willing, I'll be touring in the fall. But when I heard about the Junos, I had to let the backbone slide up in London. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Exactly. So.
Absolutely. And it's a bit of a reunion for you guys because you were on tour together last year.
We just did like I guess it was a 6-week tour in October and November. So I haven't seen him since Montreal. This is the first time we kind of got.
But it doesn't seem like that long ago. That's November, guy.
Yeah, man, we're getting old, man. Time goes quick now.
Honestly, like hearing you two talk before the interview, it was like I was eavesdropping on two buddies. And I guess when you spend that much time together, you absolutely become close.
No doubt, man, no doubt.
Do you have any interesting little tidbits from the tour? Any memories, embarrassing ones I would prefer?
I got one. It's not really embarrassing.
Which one?
Just when me and you and Ivy went to Walmart, we all bought the same slippers. What did they say on them? We bought them for a reason. It said classic or something.
Yeah,
it said something new and kind of reminded us of the tour, so we all bought them.
And then a couple of days ago, Ivy just posted a millennium version of that.
He's got the new updated versions of the slippers. So it's
kind of funny, yeah, man.
Do you still wear them and like have little memories about your
Yeah,
time on
every
tour?
time I put them on, I think of you guys, man. It's very.
I left mine on the bus. I didn't bring them home, but.
He wears them right before bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what embarrassing that you did to me, guy.
I did to you?
Well, you did, man.
Uh-oh.
So we did a show. Watch this now. He's gonna buckle up in a second. We did the show in Kingston. It's the first show. I'm feeling good about life. You know, he's feeling good. You know, Maestro Fresh Wes on tour, classy Freddie Blassie. We doing it up. I said, dude, you know, I drove here, right? He goes, nah, just chill. When the manager comes, we'll let you know. Put my head down. The bus is moving. I go, where are we? Oh, we're in Ottawa.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
We're in Ottawa.
I didn't know what you're talking about.
Them guys left my car back in Kingston. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah, but you know, his whole thing, he drove to the show because his plan was to go home that night. He wanted to go back to Toronto. He had his car. He's like, hey. So he's like, I'm going to go lay down for a minute because we got the beds on the bus or whatever. He's like, wake me up in an hour or two before the bus leaves to go to the next town because I got to jump my car and go back to Toronto.
Or something.
He told me this. I don't remember this. The next morning, he's like, you didn't wake me up. I was like, man, I don't remember you telling me to wake
Dude,
me up.
you're killing
slept
me.
through the whole drive. Next morning, he had to find. How'd you even get your car back?
Man, well, Chicas told me.
Oh, Dan went back and got the
Anyway, he had to call before they towed it. It was whatever. But that was just a red flag for the tour. But everything went smooth after that.
Yeah, it was first day.
Yeah, man.
Well, Chris, you saw them here in London at London Music Hall when they were here. Now, do you have any questions about that show or what went down?
I mean, I appreciate the fact that you guys travel all across Canada.
I appreciate the fact you were at the show.
Oh, man. It's, you know what? I've been to maybe like 3 or 4 concerts in my life. And my wife actually bought me tickets for yours. And I was ecstatic.
Nice.
It was great. Great show.
Tell your wife thank you.
For sure. I mean, you guys obviously you guys go way back. As a fan myself, I've seen you guys have music videos and all that kind of stuff. Do you find that, does it ever, I mean, probably a stupid question, but does it ever seem tired? Like you're just not doing something new, even though, because you do cover songs that you
Not
did
really,
in the
'cause
past.
it's
and
always
stuff.
doing something new. Like even you said, like shooting videos and stuff. But it's always, if you kept shooting the same video and over, you know, that would probably get boring. If I shot every video of me in front of cars and me just rapping in front of a chain link fence.
I think what he might have meant was
Probably
the
get
fact
boring.
that we're doing the same show every night, right?
Oh, you mean on
Right.
tour?
Either or, I mean, there's
Yeah, I
just
thought
so
you
many
said something
aspects
about
to
video
it.
in general,
But to
yeah.
me, like, I've been doing my songs forever, but at the same time, it's not about me. It's about the fans actually coming
Yeah, it's
out
the
to check us
reaction
out.
coming back, the energy coming back.
What's it like to play a show where everybody knows the lyrics to your tunes and they're just screaming them back at you?
It's crazy. Like the first time it happened to me, I remember it was in Halifax at this club called The Attic. And I had a song called The Maritimes like 15 years ago. It was the first time I did a show where people in the crowd were like rapping everything back to me. And that was like, it was trippy. Like it's hard to explain.
You've got to
That's the
have
year I met
a.
you at, or no, I met you in
No, way before that, guy.
2004, I think.
I met you before you dropped Maritimes.
Actually, I opened up for you in Montreal in 1998.
Yeah, you didn't drop- you didn't
But we
drop-
weren't friends then. You were just like, oh, who's this guy opening up? I was like, hey,
Yeah, but I was nice. I was a nice guy.
He was still nice. He was
that
nice.
That was
But
nice?
we didn't hang and shit. Yeah, you were
But it was
nice.
nice. It was good.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Imagine you weren't nice, how different the last 10 years, 15 years would have gone
man.
for you two.
Yeah, man. But this is my dude, man. So it was great to see him, you know? Good times, man. Good times.
What's it like for you to have so much history behind Symphony in Effect and just people have
That's the
so
first
many
JUNO, isn't it?
memories like
First hip hop.
yeah. And there's so many memories like even for me attached to that record and much music video dance parties.
Yeah. You know what I do to keep everything like realistic? I just think about like rock artists. I think about like iconic rock artists, like, you know what I'm saying, like Neil Young. There ain't nothing young about Neil Young, but he's still shining. I think about like Bryan Adams. I think about like Geddy Lee, you know, Rush, Leonard Cohen, what have you, rock artists who've transcended and revered amongst other younger artists within their genre. And I hope, you know, for me, that will resonate too as I get older too. Is like, you know, you have that type of base where it's a type of reverence, a type of respect within the genre of music. You see what I'm saying? So I can only use, because hip hop is still in its infancy, if I'm considered like an OG in this or like an old school cat, you know what I mean? So I got a slogan, we don't make records, we make history. So from a historical standpoint, we want fans as well as artists to look and see like these are the guys who've been doing it from when I was a kid, and they passed that on.
What are you doing to move the music forward? Like, it's not all about the past. You've got a brand new album.
Yeah.
How has your music changed and grown through the years, through your own eyes?
Well, I'm proud to say he's from Halifax, Nova Scotia, but I got an honorary diploma last summer for my book, Stick to Your Vision. It's part of the school curriculum based on in the province of Nova Scotia. So Stick to Your Vision was a song that I wrote, which was inspired by the Guess Who song, These Eyes. So that came out in the 70s. My song came out in the 90s, you know what I mean? And the book came out in 2010. And now it's a part of the curriculum, and I just got an honorary diploma. To me, that's like the foundation of all this was hip hop, for me. You see what I'm saying? And I guess from a legacy perspective, this is what the type of things you want to do, definitely.
Now, I've always wondered how you guys write a hip hop song, because a lot of your songs, they're based around classic hooks or hooks that you've written with other artists or your own hooks. And then you're writing your rhymes. Does the rhyme come first? Does the hook come first? And then you write based on that?
There's no rhyme and reason. It's, you know, sometimes you might be getting groceries, you think of a line, you write it down in your phone. You know, sometimes you might hear a song playing in the background, you might be watching a show with your kids and you hear the Muppets and a song comes on that you want to sample, you sample that. You know, I don't think there's any, you know, when you sit down, you make a song, you go this way. But if I had to pick a majority, I usually start with the beat.
Yeah, me too, lately
I
especially.
usually start with the music, but I do find the best song ideas come when there's no music at all, and you just think of a great idea that's like not based around anything other than the idea.
Like Let Your Backbone Slide was just let your backbone slide. I need the music has to say that. You know what I mean? So
How'd you come up with that line?
Billy Squire had a song called The Stroke, and he said that in that. But yo, this is what I want to say. One time we were doing the video shoot for my song, Reach for the Sky,
Right.
that he's featured on, which we sampled Blue Rodeo, Try. So we're in there, I picked him up from the hotel. Class is feeling nice, he's just waking up. He goes, yo, I'm working on a new song, man. I go, what's that? He goes, it's called My Inner Ninja, man. It's gonna be, yeah, I'm working on it. I think it's gonna be a good one. So he had that little twinkle in his eye, like it's gonna be a good one,
Right.
like he knew, you know what I'm saying? So it's funny how like 6 months later, Inner Ninja came out and it was a big record. But a couple times you said that to me where it's like you got an idea about a song you're about to do.
Yeah.
And then, because we cross IDs all the time, you know what I mean? Like that song you did, Powerless, we were talking about that on the balcony.
Yeah.
When I was filming, you're like, you're reciting the lyrics for that.
Explaining what the song was about.
Yeah.
And just like, yeah.
And then like 6 months later or whatever, it comes out and it's like, this is what he was talking about. So.
Is it always like that for you when you know it's going to be this humongous hit, you feel it?
I'm always wrong. Like, usually the ones I think are the ones, it's like, okay, it's not really the one, you know what I mean? Usually my favorite songs on the album aren't the big singles, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's what that's due to, but I find it really hard. Like, I find when you sit down, you're like, I got to make a hit single that's gonna blow up on radio.
Yeah, but you knew when you had that.
You
Powerless.
know when you're with Powerless, but even Powerless, I knew that was a powerful record.
That's it. That's all you need to do.
It's to me still, it's not a hit record, whatever you want to call that.
Okay.
It's not a song that.
But you knew it was gonna have impact, though. You knew when
I knew it had exactly.
So when we write, maybe not from a hit perspective, but you know certain tunes gonna have impact.
That's the thing. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So when you talk about things being special and an impact that they have, classified with a lot of your songs, you do, I have seen that you get your father involved, you have your kids in your videos, you toured with,
my family
you toured with your brothers.
around me. I grew up in Enfield, still live there. My parents live 5 minutes down the road. Both of my brothers who tour with me live down the road. My wife's family lives, everyone is very close, so it's very close, family-wise. And my dad plays guitar. He's the one that kind of got me into music as a young kid. He was always practicing in the basement, had equipment around, and that's kind of what got me into being, learning how to hold a microphone and stuff like that.
Nice.
How did he react when you chose hip hop as your genre? Because I would imagine there wasn't a lot of hip hop.
Honestly, no, it wasn't at all. It was like me and 3 people in my whole high school who listened to hip hop, and I think he was just like, oh, that's cool. It's a hobby, But it was when I was like 21, I went to College. I think it's out of business now, but it was like a, special university college it's like a year or 2 course to learn about computers and all this shit. And I thought I was going there to learn how to be a studio engineer. I basically learned how to type and do a little bit of networking stuff. I got a pretty good job out of it when I was like 20. And then I was getting laid off. This was making pretty good money at 20 years old. And I was getting laid off. I was kind of like, okay, I got unemployment for a year. I'm going to try this hip hop thing, go at it serious. And then my last day there, they called and offered me my job back. And that's when my dad knew I was taking it serious, because I was like, nah, I'm just going to go do the unemployment thing for a year, see where this music thing goes. He wasn't feeling that. He really wanted me to stay with the job. But I think he's happy now.
16 albums in now, right?
Yeah, and he got
that's longevity right there.
Videos. He got to do a couple shows. He had fun.
You had other aspirations as well.
I think, but at the end of the day, hip hop was the real thing, man. I play a little
You're
football.
acting now, man.
Yo, now I am. Now,
TV
yeah.
shows.
Kind of a big deal.
Hip hop is still the foundation out of that. I'm on a show called Mr. D now.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did like 8 seasons filming in Halifax, but what have you. But
big connection in Nova Scotia.
Big Halifax is serious. And Scotia's serious, man.
I still remember you on Metropia.
Metropia, I did. That was like acting boot camp. Then I did Instant Star for another 4
Instant Star is
seasons.
the one I was thinking of.
I was on a show called The Line on HBO, and then Mr. D, man, is like, wow, and then a couple movies here and there too as well.
How does the feeling when you're acting compare to the feeling when you're performing? Because you're not necessarily getting that reaction in that moment.
There's no feeling like when you're performing and doing a show. Nothing like that. That's a whole different animal altogether. That euphoria you get, But sometimes when you do a really dope scene, it's just really short. It's a short period of time. You do a show, a concert is a half hour to an hour, hour and a half, what have you. You do a scene that is like stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. Then you do it again from a different angle, what have you. When you perform live, it's like, it's live. This is really live. We're doing it.
Do you get lost in the performance, both of you? Do you find you get in that moment where you're kind of out of body? What's your experience when you're performing? Are you aware? Do you let go?
Yeah, definitely. I think I don't know, I just kind of feed off people. That's my whole thing, is I look at people, and if I see people dry, I find I kind of like either go, okay, we got to get this going, or I kind of feed off that sometimes in a negative way to be like, okay, I'm just going to cruise through this performance. But luckily most of our shows, people are into it. They're energetic. You can see the excitement from them, and that makes us, go over the top.
it's clear you guys are both incredibly successful in your hip hop careers and all of the other things that you guys do. But I'm sure it wasn't always that way. Do you have a favorite memory of a gig gone wrong from the early years?
A gig
Like,
gone
what would
wrong?
you say
I fell
was
on
like-
stage once. My brother pushed me and I fell down, and that was awful. Like, you're just falling and you're like, I'm about to fall on stage. Tripped over the monitor, down, and you're like, what the fuck do you do now? What do you even say now?
I think there's times when like the sound system's not the best, or like, you know,
That's just frustrating to me. Like,
Yeah,
when
it's
you can't hear
frustrating, yeah.
yourself
Right.
and you're trying to make it sound right and you can't
yeah,
hear
stuff like that.
yourself.
Like when you try your best to do a show and then the mics are whack, or the monitors are whack, or something skips. You know, something happens to just mess you, throw you off your game. That kind of is discouraging. But you know, you take the L's with the wins, man. There's more wins than losses, man. And you know, so
You guys have an incredible following now. And this isn't clearly your first time in London. You've been here several times to play. Do you have any London hotspots you like to frequent? Places you always go when you come to town, you remember?
I don't know, things changed, but I remember eating lunch at the Honest Lawyer.
Oh, it's gone.
Honest Lawyer.
Oh, it's so
Honest
sad.
was
Yeah, in
dope.
Dundas, yeah.
Fanshaw's here, right?
Yeah, they now have a downtown campus, so you may even see part of it.
Okay. Some cool, good times in London, man.
I always just mention the Embassy Hotel. I was talking about before the interview.
Yeah,
with
we did a
Stag.
show there at the
We
Embassy.
did like 3 or 4. That's where I met Shad for the first time. Shad opened up for us there years ago. But that was like the first time we had shows that it seemed like the crowd was just wild.
That was a
London,
wild show, man.
London, every time we come
London's
to London, I
wild.
was saying earlier, it's always top 5 shows for me when we do like a 35-date tour around Canada.
Great.
London's always up there.
Where is the craziest show you've had in Canada?
I'm not just saying it because we're in London, but you know. If I had to pick one, I'd say Boonstock, which was in BC. It was a festival about 5 years ago. It was just out in the mountains in the middle of nowhere, like 10,000 people, and it was just a really good show. We just
Crazy
opened
show I
another
ever did was with Tragically Hip in Winnipeg. 100,000 people, man. I ain't never seen nothing like that before. 100,000 people at Four Forks Park in Winnipeg. When you do something like that, you got to forget about like 70. You got to forget everybody. Just stick to 30,000. Just do that.
Yeah.
You focus on that. But that was crazy for me, definitely. But you guys mentioned somebody by the name of Shad K, who's from London, and I'm proud to say on the brand new album, the first voice you hear on my album is Shad.
Oh, that's amazing.
On it, man. So enough respect.
Champagne campaign.
The champagne campaign we celebrating all year, classy Fresh Wes.
At least all weekend anyway, right?
All weekend at least, yeah.
One thing you guys are both well known for is the positive messages in your music, and you do a lot of speaking and sort of motivational stuff for a lot of people. Why do you keep that positivity in your music, and why is it so important to you?
Well, to me, it's like a blessing to be here. There's thousands of other MCs out there who could have had this opportunity, but I was blessed. My man Class was blessed to be one of them. You see what I'm saying? So because of that, we got the opportunity in a body of work to actually put impact on someone's life. Why not say something? You know, he's got humor in his music. I got, you know, you see my personality. Our personalities come out with the music. But especially as you've evolved, I've noticed like responsibility, you know what I mean? There's always something, like one of my favorite classified songs, a song called Inspiration. You know, you never did that on tour, but that was a serious tune, you know what I mean? And a lot of the times too, songs that we have may not be the singles that people may know, but it's some type of jewel that has to be on the album. So when you purchase this and you listen to this, if it's a 10-song project or 15-song
It might be
project.
no chorus on it. It might have no structure. It's just something that people will remember. They're gonna go, man, did you hear that song though?
Yeah, definitely. So to me, it might be like a Stick to Your Vision, which is a popular record, but it could be something else that's obscure, some type of something that just hit you, like, whoa, you know? So that I think it's like a responsibility in a way.
What's the most meaningful song you ever wrote?
Powerless for me.
Powerless for you?
But another one, like you said, Inspiration. Inspiration was a song I wrote about a beat I sold to a guy like 10 years ago. It was a beat I started writing a song to, didn't finish the song. He wanted to buy the beat, I sold him the beat. And then 5 years later after that, his friend hit me up and said this guy died in a car accident and didn't get to finish the song. So I finished my song kind of telling his story. Yeah,
Yo,
I
I'm
get
getting
goosebumps.
chills
That's
right now,
heavy,
dude.
yeah.
That's hip hop. That's the power of music, man. You
But
see what I'm saying?
And their family, like when we do shows in Toronto, and like you said, we never really perform that song live because it's such a personal song that, you know, at our shows, I find it such a.
You got to pick your battles of what to do.
Yeah, I don't
with
want to
it.
bring it down too much, and you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, so we don't do that song live, but his family, Phil, his name's Phil, they come out. I remember one show, there was like 100 of them, aunts, uncles, everything just kind of coming out. And I did the song that night just because I knew they were there. But
Holy smokes, man.
Yeah.
That's the power of music, man. You know, people they disregard this genre of music so much. But when we have an opportunity to do something, we've been doing it. That's why he's got like so many albums. That's why I'm still here after all this time. You feel what I'm saying? So, definitely.
And then for you, what is your most powerful?
I don't know, man. I got a song called God Bless the Child that he did for me that people like a lot, man. That was a dope record. My bars were like, that was an out-of-body experience when I was writing those lyrics. I was like, I even said while I'm writing this ain't me, this is God writing this. I'm just scribbling it out. The lyrics in that was crazy, man. So that God Bless the Child is one. Another one, Stick to Your Vision is another one. You know, songs like that, man, definitely. I got a new song on the album called Gravity. Gravity's dope too. It's one of those songs, definitely.
It really kind of weighs it out, though. Like, I mean, you do have those songs that everybody wants to listen to, get radio play, stuff like that. Like, I mean, that's you want people to go up and have fun. Yeah. But I mean, for yourselves and for true fans who really want to listen to like the whole album of things, there are those songs where if they take the time that you guys put in, you're gonna get those deeper meaning songs, which I mean, on both sides, kind of makes it worth to both do and listen to.
Yeah, totally.
It's awesome.
It just brings the album through like a journey too more. I find it's just emotions. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're mad, sometimes you're pissed off and you want to go to the gym and smash something. You know what I mean? And that's what music is, different vibes.
All right, so you've just released your new album. You're heading out on tour next year. What are your plans over the next little while? Of course, your show tonight, but what are you working on right now?
I need to get some sleep. That's what I'm working on. Because, it just came out last week, and then I got this week. I'm doing the Canucks game in Vancouver the week after that. So things are happening. Things are happening for me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you?
What am I doing? After tour, I kind of been sitting in the studio making beats, taking my kid to basketball.
Dope.
Dirt biking.
The everyday life, man. When
I've
you
been
have
relaxing.
time for it,
We're gonna
it's so
start doing
good.
some dates. Like when summer comes up, we'll start doing festivals. I know we have another tour coming in October. And then an acoustic album. That's what I'm working on right now. It's kind of a greatest hits, but all acoustic versions of the songs. And then I'm gonna do a tour for that with just me and a drum machine and a guitar player.
That'll be a fun tour.
Yeah, it's
really intimate.
That's kind of like we did a couple on the East Coast and like songs like Powerless, Inspiration. Like that's the type of songs I would do at these type of shows.
Right. Well, Wes, Classified, thank you so much for being here today and joining us at Established Media at their studios. Have a great time at your show tonight.
Thank you.
I know you're going to kick some butt and kick some butt on the ice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play some hockey.